Hey everyone, it's Mackenzie. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks for joining. I hope you enjoy my videos. For today's video, as you can tell, we're kind of at a new angle, a different setup. My back was hurting me a lot today and I needed something to lean against, so I am on the floor and I'm super comfy and ready to go. So let's get on with the video. So for today's topic, we're going to be talking about kindness, which I know is kind of a broad subject and an unusual topic to make a YouTube video about. But kindness is something that I've always valued and has always been a priority to me. I think that kindness is a really important judge of character, and I tend to base who I surround myself with and who my friends are by how they treat other people. I think it's really important to pay attention to the way that someone treats other people and not just you, especially if you have a close friend and you say, oh yeah, they're kind of rude in social situations, but they're always really nice to me. That says something about their character. So I wanted to make a video today kind of talking about things that I implement in my life in order to try to be a kinder person and to make sure other people perceive me as being empathetic and kind. I'm gonna be saying kind a lot in this video. I'm sorry in advance. Also things that I did not necessarily occur to me at first, but that people have done to me that I've noticed and really appreciated and have added to my own life. And hopefully I can share some of those things with you, and maybe you'll choose to start doing them as well. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about is complimenting strangers. I guess this doesn't just apply to strangers. This applies to complimenting anyone, whether it's a really good friend, someone that you kind of know, or someone that you've never met before. I've had many experiences where I've been walking down the street with someone or walking through the hallways in school with someone, and they have said, oh my gosh, look at that girl's shirt, it's so cute, or oh my god, I really like his shoes, or oh my god, his style is so cool, or oh, I love her haircut. And I'll say, oh yeah, I agree with you, you should go tell that person. And the person I'm with will say, oh no, that's weird, or no, I'm not gonna do that, they're gonna think I'm weird. And I look at them like, if someone came up to you and said, oh my gosh, I love your haircut, it's so cool, or oh my gosh, I love your shirt, where'd you get it? Would you be like, that person's weird? No, it's a compliment. You would say, thank you so much. And you would, give them the answer to their question or whatever and keep walking, but you would feel good about yourself. Regardless, if someone complimented you on anything, you just feel good about yourself. And for the rest of the day, you're like, ooh, I have a cute shirt, or oh, I guess my hair does look good. I thought I looked really bad when I woke up this morning with this hair, with this hairstyle, but someone complimented it, so I guess it looks good. I don't understand why anyone would think that giving a compliment is ever inappropriate, weird, awkward. That's always a nice thing to do. So I think if you're ever thinking anything good about someone, tell them. The least they could do is they could be like, oh, thanks, and then they'll forget about it. Nothing negative can come from it. And the best it can do is change someone's whole day. And maybe they woke up this morning with no confidence, feeling horrible about themselves, but you pointed out something good about them and then they feel better about themselves. I just never understood why anyone would think, oh, I'm not going to tell them, like, I'll just keep it to myself. It's always, always positive. So my advice to everyone watching this is if you ever see something or are thinking about something and you have something good to say to someone, say it to them, because only good can come out of it. Kind of bouncing off of that, I've had a lot of times where I'll kind of lose touch with a friend, or I'll go for a long period of time without speaking to someone who is important in my life, or just, was a friend and I haven't seen them in a while. So, we just kind of haven't communicated or anything. And I'll think about them. The other day I was eating a food that reminded me of someone because they were the person that introduced me to that food. And so I texted that person and said, hey, I was eating this food the other day. It reminded me of you. I hope you're doing well. That was it. And they texted me back, oh my gosh, I was thinking about you the other day. How are you? Like, let's catch up. I think in any of these situations, if you want to test it out and make sure that you're not going to look weird or be awkward in the situation, put yourself in that person's shoes. So for example, if I got a call or a text from someone being like, oh, I was thinking about you, just wanted to say hi, just wanted to check in, we haven't spoken in so long, would you be like, oh, wait, that's a little weird, they were thinking about me? No, you'd be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, like, I miss you, I haven't seen you in so long. Or worst comes to worst, be like, oh, that's so sweet of you, yeah, I'm good, I'm actually really busy right now, It's just a nice thing to do. And I always think, like, anything that's going to make someone else feel good, you should absolutely do it. My next topic is something that I've always admired about my mom. This is something that I've just always noticed. It wasn't even something that she necessarily taught to me. I just kind of always saw her doing it and always thought it was such a nice, amazing thing to do, and tried to take it on myself. And it has really changed my life. I think it's so important. It's such a little thing to do, but it doesn't occur to a lot of people, including myself, until I started noticing my mom do it. Using someone's name, although it may seem like something really small, really makes a huge difference to the person that you're speaking to. So there are two parts of this. First of all, even just with people you know, just using their name in conversation makes a big difference. I noticed a few years ago there was someone who I was speaking to, and every time I spoke to him, he would say my name, whether it was, hey Mackenzie, how are you? Or have a good day, Mackenzie, as opposed to just saying, hey, how are you? Or have a good day. My name was always added somewhere in the sentence, and for some reason, it just made me feel so good. It made me feel like, it just kind of made me feel seen. Like, I feel like sometimes when we're talking to people, you know that you're talking to them. I don't really know how to explain it. You know that you're talking to them and you know that it's just the two of you having a conversation. But when they put your name in there, you're like, okay, they're acknowledging that they're talking to me. I'm an important part of this. I don't know if that sounds crazy because like obviously you're talking to the other person and like you're part of the conversation. But I don't know. At least for me, I've felt that whenever someone uses my name in conversation, when they're talking to me, it just makes me feel so much better. Like they acknowledged me and they acknowledge that I'm a human being, and it's not just, oh, hey, how are you? Like as a courtesy, like they're focusing on me and they like are prioritizing the fact that they're speaking to me and they care about what they're asking me. You know what I mean? You can't answer me. I'm talking to a camera, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I just think it's always made me feel so much better. So that's like a little something that you can do. And then the second half of this is with people who you interact with on a pretty regular basis, but who is still kind of a stranger to you. So for example, a bus driver, a waiter at a restaurant that you go to a lot. For me, I have a Depop account, and when I first started, I was getting a lot of orders coming in, and so I was going to the post office like at least twice a week to mail out my orders. And at the post office, there were always the same two people working there, and they have name tags. And so the first few times, like I wasn't expecting to go that often, but when I kept having to go, when I kept getting these orders and I kept sending them in, and I would go in every time and be like, hey, how are you? Thank you so much. Like, have a good day. But I was talking to the same people every single time, and I saw their name tags every single time. And so something like that, where you could just remember someone's name. So for example, the lady who works in my post office, her name is Jasmine. It says on her name tag that her name is Jasmine. I don't personally know her. I don't see her every day. We're not friends. We're not gonna be friends. But just to have that small, like, I acknowledge that you're a human being and that you're not just some staff member that works in the post office, you know, to do something that I need you to do. You're a human being. So I could say, hey, Jasmine, how are you? Like, hope you're doing well. She's not going to be like, oh my God, how'd she know my name? Like, did she Google me? No, you're wearing a name tag. That's what name tags are for. So I feel like just trying to use people's names if you see their name tag, even if you don't see them on the regular basis. If it's a worker in a hotel that you're staying at the front desk, and they help set you up and they give you a room key and you see that they're wearing a name tag and you say, thanks so much, Jennifer. Have a great day. Like that, I'm telling you, will make such a difference. Even if they don't say like, thanks for using my name, it will make such a difference in their mind. And it's so small, something so small that you can do. It really makes a big difference. So when I was talking about my mom, a great example of this that has only done amazing things. My mom is a lover of Trader Joe's, aren't we all? And when she goes, there's pretty much always, every time she's there, there's this lady there who works at the cash register, and her name is Sugar. And every single time my mom goes to Trader Joe's and she sees Sugar, Sugar loves my mom for some reason. I mean, my mom's a great lady, but Sugar loves my mom. And so whenever they see each other, they always say hi to each other. And my mom just knows that her name is Sugar because she saw her name tag a few times. And as they kept seeing each other, she realized this was someone that I was going to see really often. So she remembered that her name was Sugar. And then now every time my mom goes into Trader Joe's, hey Sugar, how are you? They talk, they have a great time. And it's just so much more of a connection and a relationship because they use each other's names. Same thing when you're getting off a bus. I had a bus driver named Tommy, who was my bus driver for many years when I was in elementary school. And every day when I would get off the bus, I would say, thanks, Tommy, have a good day. And we just had a better relationship because I used his name and I knew his name. And it wasn't just thanks, sir, mister, thanks. And I didn't even make eye contact with him. Some kids would get off the bus and just be like, and first of all, wouldn't even say thank you. And second of all, would get off the bus and be like, thanks, not make eye contact, and then leave. Okay, yeah, you were polite and you said thank you like your mom told you to. But when you say thanks, Tommy, he's a human being and he hears that you're acknowledging and actually saying thank you to him, as opposed to just doing it by rote and like not actually absorbing or acknowledging what you're doing. So the next two things that I'm going to talk about are actually things that I learned on a summer program that I went on. I'm sure I will talk about this more in future videos, but I am pretty involved in an organization that works with people with special needs in the Jewish community, and I went on a summer program with them. It's a program for teenagers that tours Israel over the summer. And before it starts, there's an orientation for all of the high schoolers on the program who have never worked or, you know, experienced anything with people with disabilities before, and to make sure everyone feels more comfortable before we go on the trip. So one of the things that we did was so impactful to me. I will never forget this. One day, one of the counselors on the trip picked one of the kids on our group and said to him during lunchtime, go grab your lunch, and then instead of just going and finding a table and sitting down with your friends, walk around the room and look like you're looking for a seat. And just walk around and just wait until someone offers you a seat or asks you to come sit with them. Anyway, fast forward, we didn't know this was happening. A day later, they showed us a video and said, we just want to show you something. They showed us a video, and it was a video of us all eating lunch. And this one boy who had been told to walk around had walked around for something like 10 minutes, walked around and around and around, was just looking for a seat, had his lunch, was ready, just didn't know where to sit, looking for a seat. And we all saw ourselves in the video, completely not noticing him, and not a single person offered him a seat. That was such a wake-up call because it was a video of ourselves. I saw myself sitting at a table, and I saw this boy, this poor boy, pass me 4 times, and I was just too caught up in my own conversation to notice that he needed somewhere to sit and he was uncomfortable finding a seat for himself, or he didn't have friends to sit with. Again, such an eye-opening wake-up call. Just always be cognizant and aware and kind of on the lookout for people who feel out of place. If you ever see anyone who looks uncomfortable, is sitting by themselves, seems like they're new in the situation and don't know anyone, whether that be at work, at school, anything like that, just offer them a seat or go over to them and say, hi, what's your name? Are you new? Like, can I introduce you to some people? Ask them about their day, ask them about, what they did before they were at this new thing. So it was a new school, ask them where they used to go to school. If it's a new job, ask them what they used to do or how they got the job or things like that. Just start up a conversation because it's so uncomfortable to be the new person and not have anywhere to sit or anyone to talk to. And for everyone else around, like I said, we all ignored it and didn't notice, but for that person, they feel like they are the center of attention, and them walking around not being able to find a seat, they feel like everyone is staring at them and they look like such a loser because they can't find a seat. So just kind of be aware and keep your eyes open. And if you see anyone who looks uncomfortable or out of place, be the person to go and make them feel less that way. Related to that, and also the second thing that I learned on this program orientation, is an idea called save a seat for bracha. So bracha is the Hebrew word for blessing, and it's just a Jewish name, but you can replace it for anything. Save a seat for Susie. It doesn't matter. That actually works. That rings. It rolls off the tongue nicely. Save a seat for Susie. I like it. I'm copywriting that. Thank you. Basically the idea is that when you're sitting in a situation, it works with sitting and also standing. Whenever you're in a social situation and you're sitting with a bunch of people, so we'll go for sitting first, and you're sitting down with a bunch of people, always make sure that there's an extra chair that no one's sitting in. And if someone comes and fills that chair, pull over another chair and make sure there's always an empty seat where you're sitting, so that someone, like I said, like that boy who was told to just walk around, so that someone who doesn't have a seat or can't find an opening, there's always an open seat at your table, and there's always a place for someone to come sit. And someone always feels comfortable to come and say, do you mind if I sit here, or is anyone sitting here? And you can always say, no, that's for you. There's always an extra seat. By the same token, if you're talking with a group of people, it's kind of natural to just talk in a closed circle where everyone's standing in a circle, but it makes it very hard for someone to, even if they're your friend, it makes it very hard for someone to come join that circle, because you have to be like, hey guys, and then kind of push your way into the circle and make room for yourself. So another thing to do is, if you're talking with a group of people and you're standing up, try to talk in a U shape so it's open, so anyone feels comfortable to just walk in and join. It feels like it's a conversation that's open to anyone, and no one has to squeeze their way in or make it seem like they're intruding the conversation. If they want to come over, they can just walk over, and there's always a place for them. These might seem like things that you're not going to say to your friends, guys, make sure we're in a U shape. But if you realize, if you're talking in a group one day and you realize that you're in a circle, just kind of move over. No one's going to notice it. Just kind of move over and make sure there's room, and keep your eye open, things like that. Body language is a big thing. And just having things in mind and being on the lookout. You don't always have to constantly be watching everyone's eyes, like a hawk, making sure is that person okay? Do they feel okay? But just being aware of it, you'll notice much more that you'll be able to pick up on things like that, and make a lot of people feel more comfortable in their situations. Another thing, I guess, is kind of about gossip and just in general thinking before you speak. I think that's something that we all learn in kindergarten. There's always a sign in the classroom that says stop. Think before you speak. It sounds so simple, but really something that I added to my life that I think has made a big difference is, if I'm about to say something in a conversation that might be offensive or might even if a person is not there, if I'm talking about someone and I think it might hurt their feelings, I literally stop and I think, is it going to add anything to the conversation? If the best that it's going to get you is a few giggles out of someone, it's probably not worth saying. Just think, is this going to add any substance to the conversation? Is there a point I'm trying to make, or am I just saying this to get some giggles, but really it's at the expense of someone else? The last thing I'm going to talk about in this video is, again, I can't really say pet peeve. I think all of these are my pet peeves when people don't do them, but I think this is the biggest judge of character. I know that it's a thing that people say, like when you're going on a first date with someone, pay attention to how they treat the waiter. I think that entitlement says a lot about a person. When people feel entitled and they feel like they deserve things, that can say a lot about someone's attitude toward life, just how they treat people in general. So waiters are a big one. If you're at a restaurant and someone pours water for you, I think that saying thank you takes 4 seconds. And even if you're in the middle of a really, really heated conversation and you're going at it and you just go, thank you, and then you keep going, it takes 0.2 seconds out of your life, but you acknowledge that person. I don't know. I don't want to like judge anyone who's watching this video, but also like, if you're eating and someone comes to refill your water or to bring your food or takes away your empty plate and you don't acknowledge them, no, sir, please fix that. Like, just acknowledge people. I just think it's so important. And like I was saying before about saying people's name in conversation, just acknowledge that they're a human being and that, yeah, they're being paid and you're paying for your meal and you're paying for this service. It doesn't mean that, you know, they want to be there or that, you know, they want to be serving you. Also, just having patience with those people. Like if you're at a hotel and your key card doesn't work, you can't get in. This is a total hypothetical situation that I'm making up right now. Your key card isn't working, so you go down to the front desk and there's a really long line. And by the time you get up to the person at the front desk, after waiting in line for 20 minutes when you just want to get into your room, wow, this is a whole situation that I'm making up. You've been waiting for 20 minutes online and you just want to get into your room. The person at the front desk, it's not their fault that your key card isn't working. It's not their fault that there was a long line. They also do not want to be dealing with 20 minutes of people who are annoyed after annoyed after annoyed. So when you get up there, just try to keep your cool. It's not their fault. Don't blame it on them. Be patient. Pay attention to how you sound and how you're treating others. I just think it's a really big deal. Anyway, I don't really know how to close this video. That was kind of just like a rant, but it's something that I think is really important and that people don't talk about or acknowledge enough. So definitely I would suggest try implementing all of these things into your life. And also it's not a bad thing if you notice that someone else is being rude. They might not realize it. So nicely, you know, give them one of these ideas or just bring up in conversation. Like if you notice someone's being rude, 20 minutes later, be like, oh yeah, I heard this idea. Like don't even act like you're saying it towards them because then they're just going to become like defensive. But just like bring it up and say like, oh my God, I heard this really nice idea. I want to start doing it. It sounds so nice and I never thought about it before. And then maybe that person will realize they're kind of wrong. Yeah. Anyway, be kind. I want like the end of my video, you know, like Ellen, like be kind to one another. I like want to say something like that at the end of my videos because it really is like such a big thing for me. It's like the thing that I look for. The first thing that I see in a person is how they treat other people. If you have any ideas for like a little cute little mantra slogan situation that I can say as like a goodbye on my videos, let me know in the comments. Yeah, I really like this schmooze. Oh my gosh, I want to do more like these. I want to do story times, but I need to like think of stories. Like I'm not just gonna make a video and be like, oh my God, can't believe what happened to me the other day, let me tell you. I don't have any like ghost stories, you know, but I really like this like schmooze situation, like I'm talking to a friend because you guys are my friends. Anyway, most of you are my actual friends. If you're watching this and I don't know you, we're friends now. Leave a comment down below introducing yourself. Tell me your name. Okay, I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I hope I wasn't like condescending at all. I really didn't mean for it to be that way. These are just things that I appreciate when people do and that I try to do and then I thought I might point out in case other people had never heard of these ideas or, you know, want to just try to be a little kinder in their lives. I hope that you all enjoyed as usual. If you have any ideas for future videos that you'd like to see from me or any questions about what I spoke about in today's video, please leave them in the comments down below. I hope you all enjoyed. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone. Also, side note, I forgot to mention, but this sweatshirt is so apropos of today's video. Huge shout out and plug for Alexander 23 check out his music if you haven't. He's on Spotify and probably everything else. I got this sweatshirt. Should I tell the story? Should I make this video longer than it already is? If you want to hear the story about this sweatshirt, about how I accidentally bought it and then became a fan of Alexander 23 because I had the sweatshirt, leave a comment and I'll make a story about it. Anyway, but the back of this sweatshirt is so cute and it's so appropriate for today's video. I'm gonna try to get the back of this sweatshirt, but it's probably gonna look ridiculous. Hope you're able to see it. How cute is that? It says like, "Hi stranger, hope you're having a good day. Love the person standing in front of you," or something along the lines of that. So nice, so kind. Perfect for this video. Anyway, check out Alexander 23. Love him, he's great. Alexander, if you're seeing this, chef's kiss on your whole personality. Love you, man. Okay, bye everyone.
Thanks for listening. Now you know more about me, something I'm proud of.